Yeah. That's my second win.
Welcome to another episode of I Am the Change podcast, brought to you by Dreams to Reality Incorporated, a nonprofit organization geared toward uplifting, inspiring, and empowering communities all over the world. I'm your host, Michael Davis, alongside Mr. Jason Redmond and Sharice Lovett.
Hey, how's it going?
How goes it?
Man, how's it go, Sharice?
Listen, living every day.
Yes, man. I'm excited, man. Look, it's always another great day, man. I get to go in my bag of big hitters and pull out some smooth operators. This guest we got today, man, I've known her since 1991. She's gonna say we came into college as freshmen together, but unfortunately, I was a sophomore, she was a freshman. So I got to put that out that I was older. But she was a hooper, man. She was a hooper. She had a real cool style about her. There was always an aura about this young lady of something different. Like she wasn't trying to fit in. She wasn't trying to follow all the fashion trends. She was a hooper. She came out in the hoop gear, the hoop shorts, the gym shoes, and she was going to practice. She was going to class. She was going back to her dorm. She wasn't trying to do all that hanging out. That wasn't her. So I'm gonna let Miss Maston tell you about herself, and then we're gonna jump in these questions. So,
great intro, Jason.
Hey, the check cleared, baby. The check cleared.
I would just say I knew my purpose when I went to school. I knew that I was there to enjoy myself, but to also get an education. So that kind of drove me while I was there. I had fun, but I also knew why I was there. I'm currently the principal of an elementary school here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Fortune Elementary School. I love it. I've been in education field this is going on my 25th year.
Wow. So you came straight out of college and went to education.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
Wow. So I'm gonna go first because
That's what you do.
Hey man, I'm gonna take personal privilege. So I'm gonna go back because I do know this fact about you. Your mom and dad met each other at school at Knoxville College.
No. So they actually met in the 7th grade at Booker T. Washington Junior High School here in Chattanooga. And then my dad, just to give you a little history of why education is so important to me, my dad grew up, he's a farm boy, country boy, didn't have a lot of money. So he really wasn't sure where he knew he needed a college degree, but he did not know where he would be able to go. And someone asked him, did he want to go to college? And he said yes, and they made that happen. So he ended up at Knoxville College. My mom actually went to Tuskegee University.
Oh, okay.
But they stayed together during that whole time. And then, it's really a nice love story, their stories.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It sounds like a real good love story.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And she was an educator. My mom was an educator. That was what I have. My mom's an educator. My aunt is an educator. My cousins are educators. So it runs in the family. Yeah.
Right. So, Therese, you want to go ask questions? Because if not,
I was ready. I mean, I thought it was going to be a little bit more. So, how did the transition go from in-person learning at the beginning of the pandemic to virtual learning?
Okay, so here, when we transitioned from in-person to virtual, it was around March of 2020. So when we got the word, we had to move in fast gear to make sure that we can get Chromebooks to students, work packets to students, and make that transition. And so what we did was, in our district, we gave our kids work packets. It's just elementary, because we weren't one-to-one with devices yet. And so we gave them work packets for a week so that we can fast track our teachers on how to use the digital platforms that they were going to need in order to at least get us through May. And so that happened. And then working with parents, trying to help them log on with Google Classroom, all those different platforms that we were using. So it didn't look great at all when we left in March. And so the summer, the teachers trained, we ended up having to develop a reopening plan as administrators in the district on what that looked like. And so since we were still here, we were still where we could not allow individuals into the building unless they were essential workers or essentially a part of the school system. Mm-hmm. We made sure we trained them, got the word out to the parents about what it is that we're gonna offer, like devices, come pick up devices. And we still, and my school, what the pandemic did was it exposed the digital divide between families that live in poverty and families that were well off. And so I'm just happen to be I've always taught in urban schools and always led in urban schools. So it was the training part with the parents and helping them log on Zoom, and we had to be on call to help troubleshoot what may be something simple for us because we're always doing it. It wasn't simple to my parents. And so just being patient with that and teaching them that. And that wasn't pretty either, because for my school and a lot of the elementary schools here, because we were not one-to-one, the middle and high school, they were one-to-one. The district was able to work that out. A large part of the semester, we were given work packets. And as you know, unless a teacher is sitting in front of our students, they're not learning. Mm-hmm. And so once we were able to get devices to all of our students, then it was like trying to fast track, trying to catch up with, the students. They had a big gap because let's face it, when we left out in March, not a lot of learning was happening between March and us returning in August, and then returning in August, they're still learning virtually. So, but the great thing about my district, we did what we call a phase. We had phases. And so if you're in a phase 1, we're all at home. Phase 2, we're on A/B. So kids that were on the A schedule, they would come Monday, Tuesday. Everybody's virtual on Wednesday, and the kids that were grouped into the Group B cohort, they would come on Thursday and Friday. So they were getting some face-to-face time with teachers. And so then we had to make sure that we were instructing them on a high level, just on those focus standards, because we wouldn't have been able to cover everything. Yeah. So that's kind of how it looked. Kudos to the teachers, because they had to fast track learning how to use Loom and Zoom and all these other different digital platforms in order to instruct their students.
So for me, I have a child who started 6th grade this year, and I know you talked about playing catch up. How long do you think the catch up period will actually be with the fact that these kids, they were getting information but may not have been learning, and which is a difference?
Yes. To be honest with you, there is no set amount of time. I wish I could say, in 90 days, 3 months, if they continue to do this will happen, because it's by kid, and then it depends on the type of instruction that they are receiving from their teachers. So what I tell parents is to make sure that the kids are reading, they are still logging on with their teachers, and don't be afraid to ask teachers for help and assistance. And then just making sure that parents just stay on top of their kids' learning. That would be my best advice.
Dig it.
So,
yeah.
So I know, a bunch of people talked about how the pandemic affected kids in high schools or in middle school because like sports and dances and stuff like that. But do you think the effect was similar on elementary students? How were they affected by it compared to the high school kids and the middle school kids?
The social part for elementary, because learning how to work within a team, collaborating with each other. So it affected them more on the social level as well, even though they weren't involved in sports. But like right now, we have kids that were out in March 2020. And then we entered back in August of 2020 with half in-person, half hybrid. And it wasn't until around March of 2021 when we were all in person. So, but they had the option to come in person or continue learning virtually. And there were students that learned virtually during that entire time. But now we're not offering that. We do have a virtual school, but it's not connected to our individual schools. And so now what we're seeing is students coming back who have not been in school in person, trying to adapt to being back in school, relating to each other and communicating with each other. And then sometimes it causes some behavior issues because they are trying to acclimate themselves back into being in person.
And I think about the ones that were in kindergarten when the pandemic happened, who had to finish kindergarten at home, did first grade at home, and they're now in second grade and having, like, those are important years. And so the work that I do, I run a recreation center, and we were a virtual site. And so I say kudos to all educators, because I never wanted to be in education, and I felt like I had to become a teacher. We had 15 kids, and I felt like 15 different grades. And they all, like, from kindergarten, they never logged in. And, they looked at it as, oh, you're just going to watch them log in. I'm like, no, because if they're having issues with logging in and understanding the teacher and stuff crashing, and, at home, they're not doing anything because parents would just leave Chromebooks and their homework or schoolwork at the rec center. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And, because we only have them. And I think that's the argument that teachers have. And like you said, not only did it expose the difference with the have and the have-nots, it also exposed what parents rely on teachers to do.
Yes.
And so when the teachers aren't there physically and in person and, working in recreation, I'm like, but I'm not the teacher either. And you're expecting me to do this teacher's job. Like, as a parent, what are you doing to, combat some of those things that teachers have complained about for so many years?
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you, kudos to you, because our rec centers here, the ones, especially for my school that we partnered with, they were on it. I mean, they really supported, like, what we were doing, the communication back and forth between the rec center and the school, making sure that they had the assignments, and sometimes they would even show up at the school,
To
just
pick up packets because parents weren't going.
Yes, exactly.
I end up becoming, I don't know if y'all use Class Dojo, but I end up just being the parent login for like 8 different kids. So I was getting all the information. I'm having to relay information to parents and say, just so you know, this is what's happening in your child's class.
Yes, exactly. It took a village.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry, Sharice.
No, go ahead.
They always say I cut people off, so I got to make sure I don't cut folks off.
Not you.
Yeah. Thanks. So my question is, you said you've always worked at urban schools.
Mm-hmm.
So in those, like, inner city schools. So when you're saying an urban inner city school, how do you get the parents? Like Sharice brought this up. How do you get the parents to engage with the educators to help their child, that's their youngin', help them with their educational advancements, and help them understand the curriculum, help them with their homework, make sure they're doing their homework? Like, how do you get them to engage that child with that classroom? Because you just said it takes a village. How did y'all do that at your school?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now, it's an art, and you're not gonna get 100% of your parents involved or active or whatever. And I say it's an art because you have to make the parents feel like they're a part of the team. A lot of my parents are intimidated because of, I guess, just past relationships that they've had, either being in school or sometimes teachers can talk over their heads using those terms that only educators know. And we cannot do that. We have to, I guess, let parents know or communicate with them to where they understand, like, what's happening. and making them feel like, hey, I need you. But when I talk to a parent, I just tell them, hey, we can't do this without you. Like, we need you to help us, because this is what's happening. And if it continues, and you got to be real with parents too. If this continues, you looking at this for your child's future.
Mhm.
And so we're trying to curb that and stop that before they leave us, because in elementary school, we're tight, class stay together, the teachers are like thumbs on them, but when they go to middle school, it's a little bit more freedom. And in high school, it's a little bit more. Nobody's going to follow you to class. Just have to trust that they get there to class and not skip or whatever. And I'm saying let's fix it while they're in elementary school. And we need you here. Sharice, one of the things that we're working on K2
Mhm.
is building foundational skills.
Okay.
And that's phonemic awareness, phonics, all of those things, because of that huge gap of kindergartners coming in virtual. And now they're in second grade because they've been home. So there's that huge gap. So our main focus this year is teaching them how to read.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Hey, question. I found this out when my daughter got this like 6th grade. Y'all don't teach. They don't teach them how to write in cursive anymore, do they?
No.
So they didn't. So and the only reason I bring it up is because like every year, the curriculum there's always a different curriculum. It's a change in curriculum. I remember going to core knowledge to this new math series. What is your take on this new curriculum? Because I'm gonna not let the cat out the bag, but you have a son. Your son went through Chattanooga. Is it Chattanooga? Hamilton? Is it
Hamilton County? Yes.
Hamilton County school system. So the curriculum when he was in school is different than the curriculum now, isn't it?
It is.
What's your take on this changing in the curriculum?
Well, I feel like now we have chosen a curriculum as far as literacy is concerned that is going to really meet the needs of our students. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, is that this curriculum is so focused on building background knowledge, then the foundational skills on how to teach reading, because a lot of those curriculums didn't touch phonics. So kids didn't know how to sound out words. We're going back to the basics. Okay. And so, yes, so I'm glad we made that shift. And we did our adoption. Well, we adopted this curriculum last year, and it's for 6 years. So for 6 years, we know for a fact that we're not changing curriculum. Okay. But yeah, the frustration with that is high, just for educators and parents, because they'll learn this new way of doing things, and then school system changes to another curriculum. So you got to learn something else different, but we're not doing that. We're trying to pick one that's highly rated and that meets the needs of our students, and then stick with it. Okay, because you've been at this school for what, 6 years? Well, this particular school, 2 years. Before that, previously I was at one, was the principal of one for 5 years. So. Okay. So, but still the same inner cities. Yes. School. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You like this school better than the other one? I love all the schools. Good answer. Yeah. Yes. So I'm still gonna hog this one. So I'm gonna go back. I am. I'm gonna go back to your senior year in high school. You're looking for a high school to go. You're looking for a college to go to. What made you choose Knoxville College? Because I know you said your mom went to Tuskegee. Mm-hmm. What made you choose Knoxville College over like Tuskegee or Fisk or Tennessee State, or we can go further and further out, Lane College? What made you choose Knoxville College? Well, my dad, really, because I knew all my life I was going to college. They put that in me. So, and every year we visited Knoxville College and Tuskegee. So I knew I was going to one of those schools. And so yeah, it's my grandbaby. So I knew I was going to one of those two schools. And I'm such a daddy's girl. And plus, Knoxville College is less than 2 hours away. And I thought to myself, oh, if something happened, I need my parents to be able to jump in the car and come on and not plan, because Tuskegee is about 5 hours away. So that was 5 hours from Chattanooga. Mm-hmm.
I know that.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
You know, I just found out. This is totally off subject. I just found out how close Tuskegee was to Atlanta. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that at all. I was blown away. But that's sorry. I get excited about learning new stuff, man. I learned that. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Sorry.
That's a little thing, Jason.
Hey man, I get excited over small stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, so when you got a chance to play basketball and hoop, those skills and lessons that you learned on the basketball court, do you take those to the schoolhouse with you? Because you're not a very loud vocal person. Like you're not a rah-rah person, get up in your face. You're gonna do it. You don't do all that. How do you keep discipline in your school? Because you're a very laid back person.
Right. And you know that having that type of personality has really helped, because if your school or whatever you're leading over, if there's a crisis that occurs, as a leader, you have to maintain calmness, and because then people will follow you while they're up in a roar and you're remaining calm, keeping your head about yourself, you're able to lead. But yeah, some of the skills that I have on the basketball court was, for instance, is my teammates trusted me. I had to build that trust with them. And so my faculty, they trust me because I had to build that trust with them. So if I say I'm going to do something, then I follow through with that. And I'm doing the work with them. I'm not going to ask them to do anything that I'm not going to do. Right. And so that has helped in my career. It helped on the basketball court. So yeah, I took a lot of that.
You still hooping?
Later.
You still hooping?
No, every now and again, because I have students that just think that they are the next LeBron Jordan, and they talk. All right, so I have to go out there every now and again and just show them that I still got it. Yes, yes.
You still got a wicked crossover?
It's not as fast as it used to be.
I got you. I can
still do it though.
I got you.
So you play point?
Yes, I was point guard.
Okay. How's your son doing?
He's doing great. He's doing great. Yes.
I hear the grandbaby in the background.
Yes. I'm proud of him too. He'll be graduating next May. So
get out of here.
That's what's up.
Go ahead and give him a shout out like that. Let us know where's he gonna be.
Shout out to Dayron. Yes.
Where's he going to school at again?
He's going to Lee University. Yeah.
Okay. Lee University is in
Cleveland, Tennessee.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He was going to Lemoyne Owens. Shout out to Lemoyne Owens. Shout out to all the HBCU schools.
Yes. I had to go put that Grambling on today for my son. And
yes, I should have had on my Lemoyne Owens shirt.
That's all right. It's okay.
I should have worn my North Carolina Central shirt because that game last night was amazing.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes, you can tell.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yes. So I'm not gonna keep hogging. So tell me. So everybody says like onward and upward. Like, what's the next thing for Vonetta Maston? Like, what do you see yourself doing? Where you see is Orchard Knob is the name of the school, right?
Yes.
Orchard Knob School. What is your goal for Orchard Knob in the next 5 years?
Just to continue to keep us rising. We were a priority school, so we worked really hard, and not just bringing up test scores, but I want my students to believe that there is more to life than what they are currently going through. Yes. And so just exposing them to college. I don't think you're ever too young to be exposed to college or exposed to other avenues out there. And so that's my goal, is to make sure that we are exposing them, and that so when they're in high school, we can see more of our kids, not just graduating from high school, but going off into some secondary, post-secondary learning or field. So that's my goal for them.
Okay.
How has coming out of the pandemic been? So, well, we're praying that there's not a second wave of shutdowns. But
yeah,
I'm right. So are y'all prepared for that? If there was a second wave, prepare for the second wave. Hopefully nothing shuts down, but still keeping the kids, staff, everybody safe while y'all are open.
So that is our number one goal, is safety. I know being a school, it's supposed to be education, but right now, since we are still in the pandemic, I think we're at a better point than we were when we first left out, so we can quickly maneuver change gears and pivot to learning remotely. But what we're doing is we're still, like, all of our kids still wear masks, even though here in Tennessee it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement as a state, but as a school district we have gone to, yes, it's required, but you can opt out. But in my school, the majority of my kids are in a mask, because that's number one. And then number two, just constant hand washing. We still do some social distancing as best we can, not to the extent that we were doing it when we let out, but we try to keep them distance. And if they're sick, stay home. Mom come pick them up. That's even for the staff too, because we are starting to see an increase. And so that is a concern.
So down there, is it mandatory for teachers and staff at the school to have the vaccine?
No, not to have the vaccine. No, it's optional.
Okay. Oh, it's optional. Oh, because I know up here it became like a mandate. Like either they got to quit or they have to take the vaccine. So I was going to ask how it affected, if that affected any teachers, but okay.
But right now, I think our numbers are up to 73% district-wide of staff, employees in the district.
That are vaccinated.
That
are
vaccinated.
One thing I can say the pandemic showed is learning doesn't have to stop. Because, when you look at inclement weather, things like that, when kids had to stay home, the pandemic made it where learning doesn't have to stop on those days. Because, it ended up becoming makeup days. And so it was really neat. I know here in Greensboro in Guilford County, when they went back to school and had inclement weather days, they didn't have to make those days up because they were able to learn online on those days. So I think the pandemic showed, possibilities in learning and what, would be beneficial to everyone.
Yeah, you're right. It did. It changes things now. So on those snow days, you still have to get up and log on. No more sleeping in.
Right. Yeah. Ain't no more snow days. So,
man.
So Vonetta, what do you think? Like, I asked about the school goals. Now, what's the goal for Vonetta Maston in like 5-10 years?
Yes.
Dr. Maston, are we gonna see like superintendent?
Yes, that is in my future. So okay. I'm trying to get my son through school, which that's about to happen now. I'm going back to get my doctorate degree because what I want to do, I think I have 5-6 years left before I can retire. I want to teach on a higher educational institution. So either a junior college or a university level. So that's my goal. That's my next step. Yes.
You can be Dr. V?
I'm going to be Dr. V, yeah.
Right now, all right. Hey, look, I'm not going to call you doc. I'm going to let you know right now. You're still going to be Vonetta to me. All right. Hey, how's your dad? Tell your dad I said what's up too, man. I meant to tell Bro Maston I said what's up.
I will. He's around here somewhere. Hey, can't keep up with him.
Hey, man, Bro Maston is amazing. That's my guy. That's my guy. He came and hung out with us in the suite a couple of years ago.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah. He is. Yeah. So look, I want to say thank you for coming on. I'm gonna steal Michael's line in this next one. So every week I steal this line from him. We always ask our guests to say give us a little nugget of word of inspiration, something for the viewers to hold their hat on for the rest of the week. So give our viewers a little nugget or something from Vonetta Maston is gonna make it through the week, or make it to Bible study, or make it through Sunday when they go back to church again.
Okay. Well, my motto is trouble doesn't last always. And so no matter what I'm going through, I know it is just a season, it's just a test. So just hang on, let the Lord take care of it, give it to the Lord, because it's gonna be all right. Trouble does not last always.
Well, look, you're gonna make a shot in this mug. Hey man, well, look, keep on here.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, last thing, you gonna make it to homecoming?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay.
I'll be
All
there.
right. I won't be there till Saturday, but I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, me and my sorors are going, we'll probably roll up around Thursday.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Y'all keep it lively. I gotta give it to y'all. Yeah. Y'all do. And so, again, thank you very much for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
It has been
Absolutely.
a pleasure. And if there's anything we can do for you in the future, please let us know. We will, our arms are open. We're always willing to do what we can. Tell your dad, tell your son, and your grandson, right?
Daughter.
Granddaughter.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell her I said, hey. Tell them I said hello.
I will.
And tell your dad. Is your dad coming to homecoming?
I don't know. He may not come. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, he may not come.
If he doesn't come, let me know. And if the Birds have a shirt, I'll make sure I get one for him.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll send it back by you.
Okay.
Don't try to keep your dad's shirt though.
You know what? I know we're about to get off, but I grew up wanting to be an Omega because I'm a daddy's girl all the way.
Oh my God.
It broke my heart to find that girls could not be an Omega. Broke my heart.
That's funny.
Oh my God. That's
Hey, y'all are wonderful. This was great. I love just being around just real people. Keep it real and just laid back. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm so honored.
It was great having you on the show.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely. I had to reach back and go get one of my stomachs from back in the day. Yeah.
Jason got a big bag. He does. Boy, I tell you what.
I always talk about his bag.
Hey, look, man, I'm gonna tell you, I went to school with some very dynamic people. I can't say it's the people I went to school with. Those folks were amazing. So whenever I get a chance to interview them, I get excited because I knew the stuff we did in college, and I'm glad y'all never asked any questions about what we did. But we had a good time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna bring up nobody's past because I don't want nobody bring up mine. So, we had a good time, man. And I'm always proud of my classmates, man. They do huge stuff, and it's always amazing to see.
Stan gave a little bit of it on his show. He put a little bit out there, but it's all good.
Yeah. He didn't pull out much because he got more dirt than I do. Yeah. So again, thank you very much, and my heart goes out. I tip my hat to you. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you all.
Absolutely, thank you. I'll take us out.
Yeah, man, it's on you, brother.
Right. Well, if this is your first time tuning in, I'd like to thank you. Please like, subscribe, and continue to follow us on this journey. If you've been rocking with us, keep on keeping on because we have a lot more amazing episodes to come. I'd like to thank my two co-hosts, Jason Redman and Sharice Lovett. It's been amazing. And our wonderful guest, Vonetta Maston. You've been an amazing guest. And I wish you the best on your journey. With your dreams to reality, a nonprofit organization geared toward uplifting, inspiring, empowering communities all over the world. I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, our goal is not to be better than anybody, but together we can achieve better for everybody. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.